Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in today. We have Mason Cosby, CEO and founder of Scrappy ABM, an account-based marketing firm that is actually not scrappy at all, and I would say more on the cutting edge of what is working in the space. For those of you joining for the first time, I'm Suze Barnes, digital marketing agents at DGTL-us, and we specialize in helping marketing agencies scale their revenue. So if you want to learn how to take your business to the next level, stick around, and if you're interested in a free growth consultation, just drop the word growth in the DMs. With that, Mason, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Scrappy ABM and how it started and the cool story behind the name.
Yeah, I mean, in short, 5 years ago, I was tasked with building an ABM program. I didn't know what that meant, so I didn't know what to ask for. So I started to Google stuff, realized, I'm going to be way in over my head, but I figured it out. And after quite a few failed attempts, which if you want to talk about the failures, love talking about that. We inevitably landed on a program that actually generated about $250,000 in revenue every single quarter as kind of a land program. I was at an agency, so we did a website webinar program that got people to actually give us their websites. We reviewed them live, and then we said personalized one-to-one follow-ups. And again, out of that, about 8 website projects, about $250,000. But then kind of a give a mouse a cookie type situation. So once you got a new website, you need new traffic to go to that website so you can actually convert. So it would upsell into an ongoing marketing program. So it became the main lever through which we actually converted the audience. And from there, we just continued to build out new vertical specific marketing programs. And inevitably we got acquired by a global agency. So I ended up building out the expansion effort within our global agency and sold about $9 million in 6 months through an ABM program that was expansion focused. So in the past 3 years, generated about $25 million personally in sourced revenue through ABM programs. And then from there, launched a business to help other people do the same.
Excellent. And then the scrappy part.
Yeah. The scrappy component is relatively simple. I have, through the 5-year journey, been a solo marketer, or at a couple of times actually been solo marketer and seller. So I was dramatically under-resourced. I only had a CRM and marketing automation platform. I had free tools that I could find online. I had LinkedIn. So for me, like I built ABM programs essentially with one stick and trying to make a fire. You know, it was like truly had nothing as compared to some people that I've talked with that have like $500,000 in technology and a dedicated team of 4 to like just run the program. Like that sounds nice.
Absolutely.
So I launched Scrappy ABM with the intent of really focusing first on the actual strategic components and you can actually launch an ABM program just with your CRM and marketing automation platform, so long as you've got the right talent, and we provide the right talent. We've got a great team over here that provides all the right resourcing you need to get started. And then really we want to enable people. So our whole goal is build it for you, teach you how to own it, and then graduate when you're ready. So that's why we launched Scrappy ABM. You already made the allusion earlier or reference earlier that Scrappy ABM is an interesting name because ABM is not typically associated with anything being scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
But again, our whole mission is start with what you've got, prove it out, and then scale it up. So you start Scrappy to prove out the model.
Yeah, and scrappy is, some people like scrappy. It has pros and cons for different people depending on who you are. Scrappy sounds good because it means you're resilient and shifting with the times and doing what is necessary to get things done. And other people think, well, it's, maybe not as professional, but I can see based on your website and what you've been up to, that you definitely are doing all of the right things. I was listening to one of your recent shows, the Why Ethical Selling and Niching Down Drive Scalable Growth with Sam Cunley. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. And I heard you say that you've done what most founders do and worked those 80 to 130 hour weeks. And a few years, and now you're down to more like reasonable 50-hour weeks. And so interesting to me how you've been able to cut back on your hours.
Yeah, I mean, at first, the context I want to provide is the 80 to 130 hour weeks. I said was our family. So like my wife, she we have a podcast component of our business, shoot all podcast editing. So she would end up working 20, 30 hours a week. I would consistently work about 100 hours a week, get it off the ground. So I want to be super clear. I was not working personally 130-hour weeks. That is nigh impossible. I don't know that there's enough hours in the week. But again, it was very much a family effort. So now my wife no longer works in the business at all and is fully focused on taking care of our kids. So again, from that perspective, sorry, I want to make sure, what is the specific question I'm trying to answer?
It's just how did you scale back to a more reasonable number of hours? Because I think that's, what most agency owners are looking for.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had help from my wife to get us started, and she worked in the business the first 6 months. And essentially by the time I had been building the business for about 6 months, we got up to about $70,000 a month, and I hadn't hired anybody. And at that point I was like, I could probably hire some people. Like I think I got enough cash. And then really from there, I made lots and lots of mistakes around hiring. So many mistakes. It's shocking how much money I have lost on all of that. But in short, what I realized is the 100-hour weeks are just simply they're not sustainable. And like, it's a horrible way to live. I loved it for the season because I got to build financial freedom for our family in like 6 months. So, I mean, so long as we continue to live well below our means, which I plan to do, there's not really anything that can stop me, which is kind of fun. So like, I just got to that point where I was like, oh, like we're not hand to mouth on like being able to make ends meet. At which point I wanted to build a more sustainable, scalable business. And that required me to go hire people and for me to be well. So like, I've got to sleep because now most of my job is actually making really hard decisions. And I can only do that if I'm taking care of myself, well rested, if things in other areas of my life are going okay. Because if the rest of my life is a complete disaster, I'm not going to be emotionally well to lead well for our team. So again, I scaled back to like 50. I probably still work 50 to 60 hours a week. But I've scaled back significantly because one, we're no longer in truly a pure survival mode of like, I have to get this business off the ground. And two, I'm actually then way better equipped to lead our team because I'm a healthier person. So it's kind of those two things.
Yeah. I mean, part of this episode is about, why smart digital marketing founders struggle to let go of control. And, it's really, I see it all the time. People are, hesitant to hire and then maybe not hiring the right people. And so,
yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I hired people that I genuinely know are better at the things than I am. Like not like a nicety. But like, I used to deliver for clients by myself. And now instead of me doing the work, they have a dedicated strategist, they have a dedicated account manager, dedicated RevOps manager, dedicated content person. So like, I'm good. I'm not better than 4 specialists. Like that's an insane claim to make. So when you hire people that are genuinely better than you, that's again, you referenced ethical selling. I have full conviction that the team that does the work is better at it than if I were to do it all myself. Again, maybe I can train them. They've got specific standards. That's great. But like, there's no way that I, as one person, can effectively serve all of our clients to the same quality as a team of 4 specialists. Like that's insane. So again, making logical arguments like that. Like if somebody's like, well, I really want to work with you. I'm like, I hear you. I'm going to be honest. I'm doing like a bajillion things trying to run this business. Don't you want people whose whole job is to serve you and they're specialist at that? Like that, I'd rather that personally. Now, if you don't, that's fine. There is a price. You can pay a lot of money. Like you can get my time. There is a price, but like you'll actually get a better offer at a lower price if you just work with our team of specialists that I've trained.
Yeah.
It's way easier that way.
How do you find your team? How do you recruit your talent?
Yeah. such a good question because I've done it so terribly. Like, and I like that sounds like somewhat, but like, there were three buckets that I hired from, and there's one much longer hired from at all. So there are people that I know, there are internet strangers, and there are sourcing firms. And I hired many internet strangers, and I fired all of the internet strangers. Um, just for me, what I found is I am shockingly bad at vetting talent on the front end because everyone says the right things.
Mhm.
So if I hire internet strangers, we do contract to hire, and I do a couple projects with them. And some people hate that. They're like, I just want to go straight for the job. I'm like, that's great. But like, I'm a reputation business. Like if I hire people that do a really bad job,
Mhm.
flex on me and like you can lead, but like I can't lead this business. This is my name. So like I want to make sure that you do things super, super well. So again, what I have found is and also this is gonna sound really bad. I've also well, I'll talk about that and how we restructured the hiring process to make it a more effective hiring process. So that's the first bucket. Second bucket are people that I've already known. There are some incredible people that actually trained me on the front end of like as I was early in my career that have no desire to ever be entrepreneurs, but they want to work somewhere where they're taken care of and appreciated. So I actually went and hired most people that trained me how to do the stuff that I know. And now they're our employees. So like, I want to be super clear. It's a weird dynamic shift for a little bit there because I was very low on the totem pole at one point in their career, and now I'm their boss's boss. So like, got to work through that dynamic, but I think it's gone really well. They're all very happy to my knowledge. Um, and do incredible work. So like
That's
there's that group. And then the other group is sourcing firms because I am not going to be better than a team of people that are specialized at recruiting services.
Mhm.
So until we've gotten large enough to bring those services in house, I love going to sourcing firms to hire specialized specific talent. So now I only hire people that I know that I've known for a while in some form of a professional context, have seen their work and can vouch over consistent years of knowing them. Like they weren't a one-hit wonder. They're actually just good over a long period of time, or sourcing firms. And those are the only two places that I hire. And then the other thing is I used to be the first round interview. And what I found is that if people said nice things about me, I would pass them on because I was just excited that people like cared that we had a business.
Mhm.
I'm only 2 years into this thing. Like the fact that anyone knows we exist and cares about that was like incredible to me. Um, I'm really not great at that. So we've
Mhm.
now made me the last interview. And I actually am the culture fit interview at the very end. And I actually try to talk them out of working at our company um, and just say, like, look, we're a dumpster fire. Like, we're 2 years into this thing. There's a lot of stuff that, like, we don't have documented. There's a lot of, like, things that you're going to have to learn on the fly. We're getting better. Like, we've got projects that we're doing to build out all of our SOPs. Currently, we're trying to map out and execute 240 different SOPs. So, like, we're in the process of doing that. Like, we're working on it but you're actually going to be a part of the solution and like helping to solve these things. So if that's exciting to you and you like want to help build a business from the ground up, awesome, let's go. If you want perfect structure and process or you're used to that, that's not here. And like we'll get there, but come back in like 3 years when we have perfect structure and process.
Mhm.
Until then, I need you to be an expert and I actually need you to help consult and advise what we should build as a business. Um, which has created a much better hiring process because I talk people out of it versus trying to sell them on it.
There's two things that I find really inspirational. Is one is the you hired people that you were under, which is a paradigm shift, and for young people starting their own businesses, that's really inspiring. Um, and then being honest with who you're hiring about what they're getting into is refreshing, right? A lot of people don't get that, so likely your hires appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. We've in 2 years, it's actually wild timing. We've only had one person quit. And today was his very last day and he got his absolute dream job. So I'm super stoked for him. But in 2 years, we've had no one quit. And we've actually had people that have worked here the entirety of those 2 years. Um, that have no intent of leaving. Like we just did an ENPS survey and they all said tens. So like
Mhm.
healthy culture, but I think it's because I'm not under delusions of grandeur that like this place has got it all together. Like
Mm.
I'm well aware there are so many things to improve, and we're getting there. And
Mhm.
I'm thankful for the progress that we've made so far, but like, we're not done.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool. Uh, Industry trends. What major shifts are you seeing in ABM right now?
Specifically in ABM, one of my most favorite things is the shift away from a tech first approach. I actually hosted a panel on this 2 days ago with a bunch of people that have been in the space for about a decade. And we're some of the like original, like, worked at ABM tech companies to like help get ABM off the ground. And they're like, yeah, so what we did, pre-COVID is we bought technology and let them tell us what we could and couldn't do as a strategy. And then post-COVID, kind of in the 2022, 2023 era, like, oh, there's like a lot of stuff that we could have been doing that like the ABM platform doesn't do that is still ABM. So we should probably go do that. And I think that shift has been a very beneficial shift
Mhm.
because people now think strategically first versus let me go buy a platform and then say I'm doing ABM as the first thing. And the second thing that has been really, really cool is I think it was the team over at KeyPlay that kind of coined the term of the unbundled ABM tech stack. So for anyone that doesn't know what ABM is, it's account-based marketing. It's typically associated with a very expensive piece of technology. Um, that typically the average like EBM technology additions, like on top of your CRM and marketing automation, it's another $100,000 to $200,000 in technology investment alone. Not to mention then you need bodies to like run the technology. So it's really expensive.
Mhm.
And for a lot of people, if you got $1 million deals, it's great. It's like very much so pays for itself. But most of us don't live in that world. We live in like the mid 5 to like low 6-figure range. So like to get a 5x return on a $500,000 program, like if we also want that 5x to be on profit, like it's going to take a lot. So again, I love the framing of the unbundled ABM tech stack because it used to be you had to buy this one platform that could do everything, but most people didn't need everything.
Mhm.
They needed like, I need better targeting, or like I need channel activation for these specific channels, or I need the ability to make better content. So people that have unbundled that tech stack into purpose built for specific problems versus like trying to solve everything, I think make one, better tools, and then two, less expensive technologies that are more instant time to value based on the price point because it's just way less expensive to get exactly what you need. Now, obviously, inevitably, all these disparate systems, if they don't talk well together, like it's going to create different problems. But I like the problems of the unbundled tech stack versus, well, I have to buy one technology for a massive price point when I only need really like 2 features instead of all 20.
Mhm.
So that is what I think has been a very, very, very beneficial trend in the past year or so.
And are you seeing competitors doing the same thing, or is it more depending on the business, depending on size, maybe?
When you say competitors doing the same thing, what do you mean?
Like ABM service providers.
I don't. So when I talk about the unbundled ABM tech stack, I mean like it's not like Sixth Sense is unbundling its features. It's like new technologies only do a component of what Sixth Sense does,
Mhm.
and then people are buying that instead of buying all of Sixth Sense.
Okay.
So like when I think about that, that the core difference from a competitive set is most other ABM agencies that at least I've researched into typically require additional technology investment, and we don't. So again, our whole model is like, if you got a CRM and marketing automation platform, we're good. Like we can build in that. If you don't have those things, it can be tough.
Mhm.
So I don't recommend it.
Mhm.
But again, you don't need Sixth Sense, you don't need demand base, you don't need Zoom info. You just need
It's
some access to something.
super refreshing to hear that. Those are the ones that everybody seems to want to use. So yeah, sounds like a good place to be. How has AI impacted business or growth?
Yeah, great question. Most of the marketing agency owners that I talk to are like, cool, so we've got like 2 to 3 years and then we're going to be gone, which I think is a very pessimistic view. And one that I was depressed by for like probably 3 months because I had just gotten business to where I liked it. About It's like 6 months ago. I was like, like we nailed it. Like processes are dialed in. We got a team that's staffed up. We got really great clients. And then I started doing all this research into AI. And I'm like, shoot, I got to redo everything.
Yeah.
So like, I'm a little depressed by that, if I'm being honest. Cause I really just feel like we nailed it. And I was about to go pretty hard on the scale side, but I think we got to retool everything because the efficiencies that are gained by AI, um, we're looking at just agentic AI platforms that you can upload an SFP to that then perfectly execute process over and over and over again. So as I look at it, do I think that there is massive benefit in hiring an agency like us today? Absolutely. Like to get an augmented staff of 4 people that are all specialists, super helpful. Do I think maybe 2 years from now, you could probably hire an AI bot to do actually large portions of what we are currently doing? I actually think, yeah, like I think the tech is going to be there.
Mhm.
So when I look at that side, first, I think agencies that are not at least pretty heavily exploring agentic AI are probably missing the boat. And I want to be super clear. If you had asked me 3 months ago, that would not have been a thing that I would have said. But I've
Yeah.
spent a lot of time the past 3 months, and I'm like, got it. Like I'm like I'm really behind. Now, granted, I know it's still early days, and all of my friends, like, there's the adoption curve. Like,
Mhm.
there's the first like 2%. Just feel like 90% of my friends are in the top 2% of early adopters. So like, I just feel like I'm totally lost. But I know there's a lot of people that just haven't even like gotten past like using ChatGPT as Google. So like,
Mhm.
you still got time, but as a side, like, I think the time frame is like, we got to get really intentional for the next 2 years to figure this out. Um, or there will be other people that have already figured it out and like
Yeah.
will just overtake your business. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm thinking about AI changing on a business. And then just the ability to like execute way faster and do better research and better targeting with instant decisioning through AI is like massively game changing. So again, I'm still learning a lot on that front. What I will say is our ability to execute has become exponentially faster and will only continue to accelerate.
Yeah, I'm sure. And just to that point, I think everybody is still still learning a lot. It's a huge scale of what people think they know and actually what they know. What's really working well for you right now? And what's been frustrating as well.
What's working well, I mean this very sincerely, is like we just kind of give everything away. So like last week we did a 6-hour workshop called ABM in a day. I mean, I just gave away for free, and we had like 50 people show up for 6 hours.
Did you
It's
record it?
pretty cool. We did, but I'm not giving away the recording because
Good for you.
you got to be there. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I gave it away to people that were there. But we're going on November 13th now. So if you want to sign up for that, scrappyabm.com/workshop. Um, we got an overall rating of like a 9.2 out of 10 on the content. I was like, it was great. But we actually got some really, really helpful feedback that we're going to implement for the next time.
Awesome.
So again, I think next workshop will be better because this is our first one. But stuff like that has been kind of the bread and butter of the business. Like we've done 200 podcast episodes that are just like all breaking down ABM programs. We've got a newsletter. I post on social every day. Like we just do a lot to try to give stuff away. Because when you look at the top 6 reasons ABM programs fail, like it's leadership buy-in, it's sales and marketing alignment, it's lack of resourcing, it's measurement, it's targeting, and then it's actual execution. We can give you all the framework, all the templates, all the processes on like the first 5, but like somebody still has to do the program.
Hmm.
So like if I literally get you all the way to like building the plan, you're like, crap, like I can't build it.
Yeah.
Then like you're gonna hire us because we literally got you everywhere, like all the way to the actual ability to execute.
Mhm.
And then side note, if you have the internal abilities to execute, you didn't need to hire us in the first place. But guess what? You got friends that don't have the ability to execute. And you'd be like, I learned everything that I know from this guy over at Scrappy ABM. And you're said all your friends.
Mhm.
So like just giving everything away on like truly how we're giving away like this is the exact templates we use for our clients. And like this is how we do a content audit to map out all of our content that's ready for any of your programs. So like I'm getting really heavy on making just free tools that people can use um, to just get better buy-in on the ABM program and like truly do the best that they can on their own. If they nail it, they're going to give us credit anyway,
Mhm.
which is awesome. And like, that's really kind of the main goal for me. It's just to, like educate and enable people. So
Mhm.
that's what's been working. It's just teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like, I mean, I've been in the industry quite a while. I'm not going to tell you too my age, but it started out that way, you know, in the late 90s, people were doing that, and in the early 2000s. And then it kind of got a little bit too competitive, and I think it's coming back. And it's really a, you know, much better approach, I think, you know. The
Yeah.
quality is in what you're able to give away, because you are confident that you are able to deliver faster, better, because you've done it before, because you have experience.
Yeah. I mean, I want to be super clear. There are days where it sucks to give everything away. We've had 4 people um, just directly rip our intellectual property and pass it off as their own and
Mhm.
like sell it. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, and they'll lose. Like, at the end of the day, if you're only as good as the last idea that you stole from someone else and you
Mhm.
can't come up with original concepts and ideas, like, you're never going to be as good as the original.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when I look at it, like, if no one's stealing our stuff, we're probably not creating anything that's that good. So it's like a weird litmus test of like, oh, cool, people stole this. I'm like, sold it to other people.
Yeah.
It's probably actually like, it probably means our stuff is good.
It's a compliment. Yeah.
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 I mean, anyway, it's a conversation for another day. It's like, though, it's the hardest compliment to accept, but yes, it is a compliment.
Yes. Yeah. And anything, what's been frustrating, or what are you kind of struggling with, would you say?
Um, yeah, again, I've been in this, I've been building this business for 2 years. So I have made so many mistakes, like a shocking number of mistakes that easily, not hypothetically, like easily I could have had $500,000 more in profit had I not made some of these mistakes. Um, so just the thing that I'm working through right now is just, you know, we're coming out of a season of some mistakes that I made at the end of Q1 that,
Mhm.
like, you know, they cost us a lot of money. And then now working through what are the actual right lessons to learn. This is one of the things that I've been working with our team a lot is they're like, I think our lesson is this. And I'm like, actually, that's the wrong lesson. And like, I'm really worried that like you think that's the lesson to learn. Um, cause like it's probably not like it. So anyway, just making sure that I'm not going to not make mistakes.
Mhm.
It's, it's literally the game. Like the game here is as we build a business, how do I continue to push things forward and have enough successes that outweigh the inevitable mistakes that I'm going to make? And so long as the mistakes don't kill us, we're fine.
Mhm.
Like that's pretty much it. Like that's the game is just to continue to exist. Um, but making sure that I've actually learned the lesson and like know what the lesson is that I should take forward. And then also measuring that up against, I don't want to say universal truths, but we're also in kind of a weird market.
Mhm.
It's always a weird market, but there are some specific idiosyncrasies around this market that we're in. So just divorcing the lesson that I'm learning from, well, it's kind of just a weird time in the market, to make sure that we learn the right things. That's
Mhm.
pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you've got a healthy resiliency
I,
characteristic. Yeah.
the easy, honest truth is like for 2 years I've lived on like 3 grand a month. So we've made a lot of money. Most of it goes in the bank account,
Yeah.
and then most of that money has been lost to like mistakes. But again, because we had a low expenses and a really, really healthy emergency reserve, we're able to continue
Yeah.
to keep rolling with no debt. So like again, like that's what I mean. It's like my goal here is not to build the most profitable, healthiest business of all time. I can't do it. Like I'm sure that there's someone. My goal is make sure that I build a smart business that does well, helps a lot of people, and that my successes just outweigh the mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
and then learn to live with the mistakes. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's good attitude. 6 to 12 months from now, since your business is still quite young, what do you imagine? Where do you want to be?
So where we like to be is, in short, I think we'll end the year at like 2.5 million, just based on the current run rate. If I'm gonna look, I know you said 6 to 12. I'm gonna look like 18 because I think more in the years, but
Mm-hmm.
like 18 months from now, I think we'd be a $5 million business if things shape up how I anticipate that they will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then from there, like, make sure we've got roughly 25 to 30 people on the team to deliver on the current customer base. And then just make sure our long-term goal is that we'd enable about 1 million marketers by end of 2035. So what I want to do is actually have very, very clear, tangible success metrics, and I'd almost like an always-on counter to just see the number of marketers that have engaged with our content, and so that we can actually measure up against the real objective, which is to educate 1 million people on how to do their job super, super well. So that's kind of where my head is, and like again, I think the 5 million would happen if we educated 5,000 people, and then some of those become buyers. That's kind of where my head is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good goal, and I like the mission. I know we've got 1 minute before it's date night for you, so I want to get you out of here. Any predictions for what 2026 will look like for ABM? And then a final question is, since we're on a podcast, what's your favorite podcast?
2026 predictions. This is not a great prediction for me, but it's kind of one that I think is honest truth.
Mm-hmm.
The overall trend that is ABM, I think, is consistently shrinking. I just think the principles that are ABM will be consistent, like target an audience that's like your actual best customers. Pretty good advice, like pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there will be less and less new ABM technologies. I think there will just be more targeted programs. So I think, again, principles will stay the same. The framing and the wrapper, I think, will look different. I've seen a lot more on the overall GTM space, which just feels like a rebrand of ABM, but to include like all departments versus just like marketing and sales. So again, I think we're going to see the rise of more people talking about GTM versus ABM, but like it's all the same stuff. Like we're doing target lists for sellers in like early 2000s. So like different wrappers, same things, but I just think ABM will be less of a buzzword and more just like a thing people do.
And then you'll be Scrappy GTM.
I don't know. I got to figure that out. I've been thinking a lot about the inevitable rebrand we'll probably end up doing in 27 or 28.
Mm-hmm.
But for now,
yeah,
I really like being Scrappy ABM.
Yeah, it's a good name. Favorite podcast? Do you have time to listen to podcasts besides your own?
So the fun fact is we actually run we have a podcast arm of our business. We're running like 11 shows for clients right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite of our clients is Do This, Not That, which is hosted by Jay Schwedelson. And honestly, outside of like our clients' shows, and then I listen to a couple other like specific podcasts on like ABM to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all I listen to.
Cool. Super interesting. Thank you so much for your insights here. Really impressed by what you're doing, Mason, and was super excited that you had a podcast system already, because you must know it works really well to start building relationships. I'm really honored that you said yes to this one.
Well, I appreciate the invite, and hopefully this was helpful for the audience.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Enjoy date night.
I appreciate it. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.